Oh Lord.
Yeah, would have been a lot of episodes. So we are live, by the way. So just
Oh sweet,
just
sweet,
started
sweet.
streaming. So
All right.
for any of you that, well, I don't know if anybody's actually going to tune in, but if you tune in or if you're watching this after the fact, the voice you're hearing is actually my buddy Matt, who's been through this whole game with me, pretty much the whole game. I think you came in like second or third stream, I think, but.
Yeah, it was the second stream, but I've watched everything that you.
Yeah. He went back and started watched the first one. Yeah. So what I'm doing here is I checked, like I said I was going to at the end of the stream slash episode, and clicked continue in the menu, and we'll see if it gives us the same message when I do this. So we'll continue on. And Matt, I'll try to keep in mind too. There's a bit of a delay.
Oh yeah, it's okay. I can partially hear it in the background.
Okay, so there you go.
It's like a 3 or 4 second or something like that delay.
Okay, so you see a message up in the upper right there. It says, "You've returned to your story before the fortress. Fortress is not replayable, but keep exploring." So there's a way for you to continue the game after the fact. I mean, you won't be able to fight any of the major bosses. I'm wondering if there are more bounty hunter fights. There might be. I don't know.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, kind of keep fighting the bounty hunters. Granted, it's not really.
Hey kid, I've been meaning to thank you. With
Oh,
my
your
terrarium
plants
built
grew
out, I
up.
can
Look at
finally
all
get
them.
hollows for the Galactic Botanist competition.
Oh wow.
Wanted me to do all this for bragging rights?
No, not just that. Those slubs give a lot of credits to the winner of the grand prize.
Planning on cutting me in?
Whoa, slow down. It's a plant growing competition, not a plant gathering competition.
Oh well, at least the mantis feels more alive.
Not a plant gathering.
So you actually get to see all your plants all grown up. Of course, Grease is gonna save all the money, or keep all the money for himself. Even the mushling, and that's the nastiest name for a plant, a bleeding gut. That's like.
Oh, I know.
It makes total sense for Dathomir, but ugh. So.
Isn't that the one where BD was talking to Cal and they made a comment about it being gross, but Greasy would like it?
I think so, yeah. Or at least they hoped he would like it. I love that. I think my favorite, granted, it's just it's sort of a what do you call it, equivalent to something I like in just in real life. But the bone shear, which I love that because it's like a bonsai tree. I love bonsai trees. So, but it's got to be my favorite overall. I like the feather fern too. It's kind of neat.
I think they're all just cool and unique, and they remind you of the little journey that you went on through the whole game, all the different levels.
Right. Yep. Yeah. All those different worlds. I wish they would tell you what this plant is, just because it's this sort of lone plant here. And I wonder if that's another one of their sort of like unfinished plans. I mean, it's the same thing with this here too. But.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've wondered that same thing of if they had names or if they were from just certain planets or.
Yeah, because that's something like I commented on Bogano, when I got off the ship, is it felt like at that point in the game, and I don't know what it was about it, but it felt like there was just, they had more ideas and they wanted to do more. They wanted to fill in more. And my only guess is that they, it was just they had to sort of finish the game so that they could get it out, release in time, because this game had to be released. This game was released November 15th, and that's only like a month before Rise of Skywalker, so it had to get out, before Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, I didn't know this game came out like a couple days after The Mandalorian started airing.
Yeah, literally, 3 days after The Mandalorian, the game launched. So,
man, the 4 episodes that have come out on that far are pretty good.
Oh yeah, dude, that show so good. One of my friends from back from like when I played Artemis, He made a post on Facebook because he's been watching it, and he was like, all his post was Mandalorian episode 4, and then in like asterisks, like emote basically slow clap. that was the post. And watching it after the fact, after I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, definitely slow clap. Like, so good. And I like the introduction of Cara Dune. I hope to see her more in the future.
Yeah.
Especially because she's rebel or ex-rebel shock trooper, so be cool to see.
Yeah, I think so far the storyline is really interesting. They're really good about letting you know some intricacies, some details of the characters and the development. I really liked when he got his whole Beskar armor. The only thing they haven't shared is why the piece of armor on his right thigh looks a lot different than the one on his left thigh.
Well, actually, if you go back and watch the first couple episodes, what I think is the helmet. He got the helmet first thing, because his helmet looked new right off the bat, and as you've watched the other pieces come together, they've been similar to the helmet. That straight sort of chrome look and all that kind of stuff. And also, if you pay attention, so what I'm getting at is I think his helmet was new and was his specifically, and I think that's the first piece you get as a Mandalorian. This is conjecture, but I think that's the case. I think all of the rest of his armor was loaned pieces, leftover pieces. So what I'm deducing is that when you're a foundling, you inherit like hand-me-down Mandalorian armor, like pieces, pieces, whatever they had. Plus, the Mandalorians in general at this point, I mean, they're a scattered sort of race from what they've implied.
True.
So, that might be another factor in it. And with Beskar being so rare, it's kind of like, well, here's pieces that were from other fallen Mandalorians that have been recovered, and it's just parts of their culture that they've managed to recover, but it's just sort of.
Well, my main question, I guess, on that wasn't like the armor he starts out with. It's once he gets his full Beskar armor, and she starts building him more of a unique shapes and stuff for him, because his shoulder covers, what they're called, like palindromes or whatever she called them.
Pauldrons. Yeah.
Pauldrons. There you go. Thank you. It looked different than the ones he already had, even slightly shaped different. My thing is you first see his full Beskar new outfit. He's walking into the cantina, and you notice that the armor on his right thigh looked slightly messed up, or something's wrong with it. And I've been watching it, and I can't tell if there's a design on it, a pattern, or if it looked messed up, or what is it?
Well, the thing is, when she forges the armor from when he gets the reward, gets the bounty, she says a cuirass is in order. The cuirass is the upper body section. So she actually hasn't done his leg armor. He doesn't have his full new set. He had the helmet. He had the helmet.
Leg look Beskar, were they not?
No. Well, actually, the set that he had was Beskar, but it's old Beskar. That it's all the legs that he has now. So what happened was he had his helmet when
they were like polished kind of look.
Yeah. And so he had the helmet. The first piece that he got, she forged his new pauldron, his right hand shoulder. When he got the reward, she was able. She said she was going to do a new cuirass. So then she did the chest plate and the other pauldron, and I couldn't tell. It's his gauntlets. Looked new, so I think she might have done the gauntlets too. They looked more chrome, kind of like what he had on.
Yeah, both of his gauntlets were destroyed.
So, but the leg armor. Now I don't know. The right thigh does look polished, and it looks more like the rest of it, or the left thigh, whichever it is. And one of them looks.
It's our right side. It is his left thigh.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, his left thigh. Yeah, so. I don't know if that one was just so compromised that she even went ahead and did that, or if his I'd have to go back and watch the first couple episodes and look closer. But that's the case. Is his leg armor is still the hand-me-down stuff.
I wonder if they just played it off by having her like strip the old rust off and kind of make it look polished.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe she used some of the residual to sort of bring back some of the integrity of it, basically.
It would make. I mean, it would make sense.
Yeah, kind of reforged what was there to an extent, you know. Yeah, and that would make sense. Just making do with what they had, and of course also trying to, you know, reserve the Beskar, as much of the Beskar as they could for.
Oh man, I still love Jon Favreau.
Yeah, his cameo is great. It's fantastic. Both just the initial sort of, you know, him being this sort of aggressive kind of guy, you know, coming in and, you know, hassling the foundling, basically, or former foundling, you know, and then, you know, of course, then had to give himself, well, for one, I loved in that fight, if you pay attention, their knives are actually vibroblades. They show them vibrating. So I love them adding that detail.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. Great.
And then of course I made a joke, like, you know, in Favreau when they have the big fight at the end of episode 3, and they had to give Favreau had to give himself the big gun, you know, like he had to have the biggest gun out there on the field. It was just funny. And
yeah, the closed captioning credits his name as heavy infantry.
Ah, okay, there you go.
So yeah, he's the big boy on the block.
That's great.
Still love the flyby salute.
Yeah, the little nod to Iron Man there.
Yeah, Iron Man.
It's great. It's like, yeah, we get it, Disney, and we get it, John. You guys are, you know, we get them.
They're awesome.
Yeah, it's such a good series. I love. One of my questions that's still lingering too is, and I'm gonna initiate Trout with the Dathomir because that's what I want to explore first.
Sweet.
The only two that I have left to complete are Dathomir and Illidan.
Okay, listen up. I only want to say this once.
Yeah, I rewatched a lot of your stuff.
I am listening.
Good. In case no one informed
Here
you,
and
this
there,
is my ship and I'm the captain.
For the most part, you
A pretty
got
good one, I
quite a bit
might
of
add.
it.
So I make the rules.
I
Rule
do
number
like
one, if
I do
stage
like
show,
the Disney
count
Plus
is a no.
app altogether.
Rule number two, without
Me
forearms
and
to
my
spare,
wife
stay
last
out of the
night actually
captain's
shit
chair.
any of the
Number three, if
Mandalorian,
anyone's
so we watched all
cooking,
4
Grease will be
episodes
looking.
that have been released
Number
so
four,
far,
if it gets
and
too loud,
she was loving
you'll be
it.
flying in the clouds.
Awesome.
Grease, come on.
What? I was gonna say they'd get us stern talking to.
I like the.
Sit down, kid. It's time to land.
I like the little interaction between Marin and Grease. It's great, especially like right when the last when they're getting ready to go down the fortress, and she's like, I'm gonna do a ritual, and he's like, what does that entail? And she just deliberately messed with him, a sacrifice, and he's just like, Then she pats him on the head, like, calm down.
I can't wait for they to throw him to his worker as a character more.
Yeah, I haven't read. I don't know if they've already talked about a sequel or not, but I really hope there is.
They'll probably wait till all the reviews, and I mean it came out before Christmas, but you know there's a lot of people that haven't played it that are like, "Oh, Mom, get it for Christmas for me," and so
True.
they're probably gonna wait till the sales of this whole last quarter of the year go through and see see how much money they make.
Yeah.
But the game for me, even just not playing it and just watching it, has been so fun just to see the full universe, just the detail in the ship and the details in each level. One of my favorite things to do sometimes, even watching play, is looking in the sides of the screen and seeing the massive scapes that they have built.
Yeah.
Just the layer upon layer. Like you look out of that ship right now and you can see there's so much in the foreground, but there's so much in the background, and there's so much depth. Look at that. Look at, it's like a Grand Canyon. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, it's
the clouds, the stars that through the clouds. It's just so amazing.
And even looking up, like, up at the temple, you know, and granted that's, you know, it's Zepho, but still just like they
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
put so much detail just even into like looking at the asymmetry of it, and then sort of the erosion of time, and it's just it looks like a hand painted thing. And I mean, a lot of the background basically, you know, in the distance is, but just like the front of the temple, you know, is like, you know, they constructed that digitally, you know, they modeled it.
Yeah.
And they put, as I was saying, like they put so much love into this game, love of Star Wars, love of getting to participate in expanding the world of Star Wars, you know, more and in their own way. It's just such a big step in the right direction.
I just love
step.
the minor AI too, from footsteps in mud to leaves and grass swaying to little flag movements to cloth movements. Even when you move, you can see your lightsaber sways. You'll move a little bit and stop, and you can see the way it just. The mechanics are great. I love the little pieces of cloth that sway off the back of the jacket near the rigging, near the D-ring on the back of his jacket, and you're just like, wow, the little things that move around, just the realism. I love it.
It's always good to give yourself a moment to think and reflect.
What else she's gonna say? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's just the whole game is just so amazing.
Malicos may not be here, but Dothamir is still dangerous. Be aware of your surroundings.
My question is, now, so one of the questions that was raised by Marin's character and you know, sort of the whole level of Dathomir here is that they make it sound like Marin is the last. I think that even in her
Yeah,
entry
yeah,
in the
yeah. You're
databank,
right.
that she's
right.
the last of the Night Sisters. So, in the expanded universe, in the what's now Legends, you know, there were one of the young Jedi characters by the name of Tenel Ka was actually a Night Sister of Dathomir that became a Jedi. And sort of the inspiration for the elemental nature piece of having the Rancor tooth as the pommel was actually, that was something that was a part of her character's lightsaber. And so so it's interesting that in this new canon they're kind of saying that Marin is the last of the Night Sisters. And so yeah, I'm very interested. I like her character in general. You know, you would almost, when you first encounter her, you think she's just going to be a side character, just, you know, something to carry the story of Dathomir forward.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sort of be you know, an antagonist, and that's it. And then they evolve her character in such an interesting way. Yeah, her character's fantastic.
How does it feel to be home?
I couldn't agree with you more. I thought that
It's hard to believe he was ever a
Sincere
Jedi.
to Greasy
Desperation
to
deformed him.
all of them.
There are many
Like
experiences that
you
can warp
stated in
or
your
break a
stream
person.
already, but
I was
I
taught that
thought
we always have a
it
choice in
was
how we
so
respond to misfortune.
wonderful
True.
on how they
But it still
build
leaves a mark.
the backstory.
Your
That
friend's here.
you could
It is
tell
clear she
they
carries great pain.
legitimately took
She
their
may no
time.
longer be a
They were
Jedi.
not sitting
She'll
there in
never
a
stop
rush
fighting
going,
for what she believes in.
okay, well, we'll
Good.
just have the little one be a gambler, and he's made some mistakes. Like, you can tell they really fleshed out who they wanted these even the main bad guy. What was his name? Malkesis or whatever, the guy.
Malicos.
Malicos.
I think it's Malicos.
That's right. Even him, just the backstories. When you start scanning different things on the planet, and it talks about a crash and someone had survived, and you hear his voice, and you're like, oh wow, they've really made it thick into each little character.
Yeah, they took their time, you know, getting into, you know, and the little things, like with Grease especially, you know, the fact that he, you know, his passions are, one of his passions is cooking, you know, and it doesn't just feel like a generic thing, you know. You can tell I mean, for one, it's kind of funny, like he's a little portly as a character.
Yeah, easy, buddy, easy.
But you know, and you can like just I don't know what it is, but even just in his voice acting, you know, and just the character in general, it feels right. It feels like a real person. Um, and you know that attention to detail, and also in the voice acting itself. You know, in a game like this, the voice acting could have been lackluster or rushed or anything else like that, and felt less genuine. And that's one of the things I've been impressed with this whole game, and not just in Cal, the main character, but all the characters are around. You know, with the second sister and Marin and you know Grease especially and Seer. You know, just the that the genuine feel of their vocal performance for that specific conversation at that specific time in the story. You know, it feels right for what's been happening. You know.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think that the scenes and where he's talking to Cal about his regrets and his mess ups, it hits you. You forget you're watching a video game cutscene.
Yeah. Yeah. You feel like you know Grease, and it's similar to a well-written show or a well-written movie where you lose the separation from the world. You feel more like you're there. You know, you feel like you know the characters. You feel like you feel their emotion through
Right.
the delivery. Yeah, just top notch.
Let's find this astronaut.
So, how'd you feel about the lightsaber creation and customization for this game, as well as some of the character customization into BD and the ponchos and different?
I think it's fantastic choice, all the way around. For one, super smart marketing tactic, making the Galaxy's Edge pieces the pieces that.
Oh, I know, right?
But it works good. You know, from the aspect of, I mean, they're good looking pieces. You know, they work. The lightsaber construction, I think they made a smart choice where, you know, having the workbench thing, you know, be where you choose the pieces. As far as tailoring it to Cal specifically, again, works well to him, you know, and his experience being initially a broken double-sided lightsaber, then eventually repairing it as a double-sided lightsaber, and then going the step further. I loved the sort of
Detachable split blade.
well, not just as a mechanic, but what that whole sequence on Ilum represents. Where and it's something, it's a theme that was you know sort of first expressed in The Last Jedi, but something that I love that they've been doing in Star Wars since The Last Jedi and in this game, with the theme being failure being a teacher, and the importance of getting back up, of continuing forward when you do fail, because it's a transition that I know a lot of people don't like what they did with Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. But
I know.
But the thing is, to me, it's a strong representation, because in the original trilogy, and with Luke very much, you get a picture of a very sort of perfect person type of character. And so, you know, and it's great to have those kinds of heroes, but they're trying to do something more in Star Wars now, to where they want these characters to be a relatable example of, you are going to mess up, you are going to fail, you're going to lose things. But coming back to the initial question about the lightsaber, you know, creation and customization, where even the kyber crystal that Cal gets on Ilum breaks, and yet,
Oh, I know. It shatters into two pieces.
yeah, and so then you see that, and you're like, oh my gosh, and it's this despair, you know, this fall into like a place of an appearance of hopelessness, and yet, and even with Seer's lightsaber, you know, sort of a, you know, and his lightsaber being broken, all of these, from these broken pieces, the leftovers of a failure, his determination carries him forward, and even beyond that, creates such an amazing, unique thing where you get this lightsaber that can now split and is more than just a double-sided lightsaber. You know, it's.
Oh
You
yeah, I
know.
mean that storyline. That story. Sorry, I'm watching you actually use it split right now.
Yeah.
But that storyline, they echo it in multiple forms and faces. Even when the line where he says, you know, about the Jedi or the universe or whatever you say, like the salvation of it rests on the shoulder of a gambler, a former Jedi, and a failed Padawan.
Yeah.
And I loved that because it's showing you that failures can sometimes push you into the greatest achievements. I mean, what is the statement, the little story go about Thomas Edison when he was creating the filament, just the filament to make the light bulb, and he failed like 101 times. And they said, so, how did it make you feel failing so many times? And he said, oh, I didn't really see it as a failure. I just learned 101 ways not to make a light bulb.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to keep going and to push himself farther and farther. And I think that's the reason why we as really dig the Star Wars universe, because it's not the perfect, flawless, incorruptible, unshakable, good guy that is never making mistakes, always the right choices, always the right decisions, who's the hero. Everybody in the entire series, from Yoda to anybody and everybody else, all had flaws.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that he throws one of the lightsabers and keeps fighting with the other.
Yeah, that's such a great the adding that that double saber wielding. They did that in such a subtle way but it's great. It makes sense for the character. It's not his main style, but he uses it in a clever way.
First time I saw you do the saber throw after he had the split lightsaber, because that's not a power one of the guys picked when I had first watched the final walkthrough after Ilum.
Mm.
And when I first watched you do it, I was like, "What the freak?" I thought it was like a glitch or something.
Didn't realize that it split.
No, I knew it split. But the guy never bought saber throw.
Oh.
He didn't care anything about it.
Gotcha.
So he never threw his saber.
Oh, okay.
So when I first saw you throw it when it was split, I went, "What?" Because of course one goes and one stays in your hand, and I was like, "What? What?"
Yeah.
So what all are you looking for on Dathomir
so
here?
Dathomir, so the thing is, even if you get all the chests and secrets, unless you sort of go into all the parts of the map, you technically don't have the whole planet explored. So So if you look just overall in the upper left corner, you see it says 97% explored, even though I have all 16 chests and all 4 secrets. So then it's a matter of finding on the map where you haven't explored yet. So I looked through, actually on the ship, you can pull up the planetary map while you're on the ship, and I kind of looked through. And the last...
There's one green door right there.
Well, I just, oh wait. No, I just went through there. Oh no, wait, I didn't. No,
No,
yeah,
there's one.
that's how that's how I got here.
Oh.
I don't know why it's
Well,
green.
then why is that one green and all the other ones?
Yeah, that I don't know.
You did just come through there. You just came through there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and walk through it and see what it does when I go back through it. I'm wondering if I'm actually going sort of backwards through what was the original idea of travel through this section. But let me double check here. Yeah, this is the green door. So if I go through here,
It's like 100% explored.
look, shortcut unlocked.
Dude.
I just walked through there and it just now says shortcut unlocked. That's hilarious. That's funny. Alright, actually, I need to go
And
AFK
still
for
not
a minute.
D7.
So,
Okay.
I'll be back in a few.
Take your time. as a side commentary here, I uh, I don't actually own anything that's capable of playing this game, and so I decided to watch this walkthrough as a form of kind of getting to vicariously explore this game, and I have found it thoroughly enjoying just to watch people play it. But it's even better when I know the person playing it and I can maybe make comments on helping them find the certain objectives or the little kind of to make sure spoil anything, mess anything up, but mainly just help the player along a little bit, and it is just fun to watch Gabe play this game. I love all the little details of his clothing, even the little all the different piece technology that he gets. Everything just it's like a typical game. Of course, don't get me. It's Star Wars, so BD1. I like that every now and again you see BD1's little head poke over Cal's shoulder and almost look at him like, "What are you doing?" Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum. Boop, 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 boop. I wonder how they sit here and come up with some of these droid names like BD1. I wonder if BD is like an initial of one of the main character designers for that droid, or what. That would be interesting to know. Cal Kestis, Jedi Knight. Feel the power of the dark side, boy. Or not. It's up to you.
Okay, I am back. Thank you for being patient.
Well, we had 400 people watching, but you stopped talking, so they all left.
I know, right? It's just terrible disappointment.
Well, I'm used to you being that to me. I've watched you play this whole game, so
Oh man.
I'm just playing.
Good burn,
I'm just
buddy.
playing.
Good. That was sick. That was good.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. The only thing that truly sometimes ever really did frustrate me
Uh-huh.
would be how you will like repetitively do the same basic saber attack, and
Yeah.
I'm like, you have all these power. Do the force push thing. Do the this. Like I'm like naming stuff. Come on, do something.
What's funny is, by the time I finally started to use all those abilities, as much as I've upgraded the force powers and everything, some of the abilities use so much force ability, I'm trying to trigger them at certain points during the fight, and I'm out of force power. So then I'm like, well, crap, all I can do is the basic attack to try and rebuild my force ability until I have enough to actually execute one of the bigger abilities again. So at first it was very much just like, yeah, defaulting to the, just keep mashing left click. But then, like I said, it's funny how once I finally progressed out of that mindset, then, whoa, that's a glitch. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Magic of Dathomir. Floating flame. You know, finally getting out of that mindset, and then I can't keep, I can't, don't have the force ability to be, or the force, what do you call it? Reserve, I guess, to be able to.
Yeah, the amount of force to do all those powers consecutively.
Right. Oh, there's another bounty hunter fight. Look at that.
Time to die, boy.
Oh man.
Count.
Ah.
This will be easy.
Yeah. There you go.
Nice.
I know you're around here.
Very good.
That's the easiest. That's the thing, when I have them separated like that, it's actually manageable.
Going down.
Dang it.
Those things are tough. I remember seeing one of those.
Can't take a
Force
hit.
Awakens.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think it was blue in Force Awakens.
Better lock.
Oh!
Whoa.
Managed to hit that timing just right. His name was Murdy.
Nice. He likes to murdy people.
Yeah, right?
Big fan of murdying people.
Okay, let's see. So I need to take that slide over there. But yeah, I mean, think about a sandbox. You know, the game I've been, you know, ranting for like what, 5 years now needs to be made. But think about a sandbox action RPG where once you make your character, oh crap, that's the. I don't know if I can go down that slide because the freaking rock's in the way. Shoot, I gotta figure out how else to get down there now. But imagine, or think about the think about a game where, you know, you got oh, maybe if I go up there, where you've got this character that, like, you've gotten to this point where you've developed your character this far, but it's a sandbox game, you know, and essentially it has the you have the ability to just keep going, like they need to make that game.
So, my question would be: is in the universe of gaming that is now? I mean, I'm not as in touch, so I can't really comment on it myself. But as in right now, vein of game, is that even something that's really popular? Because as far as I know, one of the biggest games is just a PvP shooter, Fortnite.
Well, see,
And do they like those? Is that the common, like, open sandbox kind of games? Is that a popular game theme or storyline right now?
I'd have to look at percentages. Did this just take me in a circle? This just took
I
me in
think
a
so.
circle. What's this way?
You check all those hallways.
Yeah, I'm double checking them. Okay, there was an echo here, so I can't go that way. So I have to. There we go, breaking pods.
Don't go breaking my pot.
I wonder if I can go off the other way. The percentage, I'd have to check, like, sort of population percentages. Oh, look, there's a force echo over here I missed before. That's cool.
Whoa. How did it count you as complete if you missed
We
the force
witnessed a
field?
ship crash in the swamps.
Be cautious.
Do you think that's
I
the
sense great
other
danger.
3%? Or
Let's see. Nope. It's because it's not the area I'm trying to get to, so that's interesting though. That's not the direction I was trying to go either. And I can't go any further in this way. As far as, like I said, I'd have to check like percentages like of I guess player population for certain games, but like MMOs are very popular, usually have very large player bases, at least when they first launch. They have to have several servers to accommodate, the amount of people they have playing the game. I'm just gonna die if I go off there.
yeah, don't do that.
Another game I can think of.
I wonder if it's something you have to scan. Sometimes scanning will complete an exploration of a map.
Well, the thing is, like, again, the area that is reading not completed is this one down here, the Swamp of Sacrifice. If you look in the lower left corner, you can see 85% explored. So there's more down here. I'm just trying to figure out how to get down there right
The Swamp of Sacrifice.
now. Oh.
You're such a swampy guy.
And I see, the thing is, the main route I could take to get
What
there.
about that slide?
Well, that's the thing. If you look, actually, the only way to get to that slide, there's a rock in front of it. That's that main gate to the Dathomir camp. The map is being a little janky right now, but so I'm trying to remember how I got down to that bridge initially.
You may have to go around. You may have to go up and over because it connects to the top part. So you take the long one and go up and around.
Yeah, that might be the case.
Silliness, but
yeah, and then another thing I think is kind of goofy about this is the fact that, like, this is a lightsaber. I should be able to hack right through
It
that.
can't
It's
cut
just
wood.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys. I mean, I get that they had to do certain things to block paths, but they needed to be a little more clever about that.
Do we have to make the wood indestructible?
But minor complaint there. But there's a game that I play, and of course it bores you to tears, but it's not. It bores you to tears because of the resource gathering and all that kind of stuff, and all of the driving and stuff. But is 7 Days to Die.
7 days to poop yourself.
It's a random generated, world. And it's not exactly the same kind of thing because it's not what because for me, I'm not talking about a world that's randomly generated. Oh wait, is this gonna get me somewhere? Let's see here. No, I think it's just gonna. That might get me somewhere. Landed right on a pot.
Don't go breaking my pot.
Oh crap! It just took me in a circle. It just swung up around and landed right back down on the thing I just came out of.
Oh, cool! It led me. Oh wait, never mind.
But what I'm talking about is the world itself could be established. Each of the planets, and I know you don't know what I'm talking about. You'd have to go look up videos in Star Wars Galaxies. But Star Wars Galaxies had,
Oh no, I have. I know what you're.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
so
I've seen stuff on it.
You can have fully fleshed out, built planets for each of the planets. The random generation wouldn't be in the world itself, except for maybe in enemy fortresses, things of that nature, and then more specifically in the antagonists and the storyline that you follow.
Multitask.
Yeah, I know it's not my strong suit, at least. But in the antagonists, that you face, and in the overall story itself, it would be maybe one time around you would be having to destroy a super weapon. The next time around it would be, I don't know, rescuing someone of significant importance. Just spitballing ideas off the top of my head. Of course, you'd have it a lot more fleshed out than that. and then just have it, again with procedural generation. You'd start. It would be a hierarchy decision-making thing. So, and as long as it was designed strongly enough, then you could, it'd have huge replay value, and you could even have it to where, it would, maybe you finish one storyline and you can choose to continue another, with that same character, and just have it generate a new thing. I don't know, I'd have to play around with it to see how feasible it is. But as far as it being a popular genre, I think what I'm suggesting, I don't think it's actually been done before. That's the thing. I don't.
Well, you're trying to combine different mechanics of different games to basically, in a way, create like the ultimate game ever.
Yeah. You're
If
right.
you made a Star Wars game like that, I would buy whatever console or PC or whatever I had to make sure I could play that, because that would be the ultimate. You wouldn't need as much. You could kind of ignore some tabletop simulators after that. You could ignore a lot of the average games where they force you to play their character, because if you could create your own character, customize it, have storylines where your character's involved, you're talking about immersing yourself into such a deep level. It'd be like the Dungeons of Dragons, but for the Star Wars universe, where these people could play and 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 play.
Right. Now, that might be a deterrent for developing a game like that, where, for one, it would take a lot of resource development.
You'd want to do, but you would want to do expansion pack. That's what Dungeons and Dragons has done, is continue to add more planets, more realms, whatever.
True.
You could do that. You could add more ship expansion packs or weaponry expansion packs, and you could have like the Sims used to do on computer games.
I hadn't thought about that. That's very true. That it's because that was what I was thinking, is from a marketing perspective. If you make that game, other than selling more games like this where you have interesting original characters that people would want to see that particular story, a lot of people would be like, well, I don't need to play any more Star Wars games because this Star Wars game has everything I'm looking for. Well, everything I'm looking for, being able to create my own character the way I want to create my character, and play all these different adventures. But like you're saying, with expansion packs, you're gonna do expansion packs for not only sort of gameplay elements like new cosmetic items, new sort of style weapons and all that kind of stuff, but also maybe expansion packs for different kinds of quests.
Yeah, that's ultimately you could do all the DLC, any of the downloadable content that you could purchase and buy. I mean, even go back as far as like some of the first-person shooters of the mid to later 2000s. You could play the game, and if you did a multiplayer mode, you could continue to download levels and different stuff, and they've continued to expand what you could and couldn't download in those contexts. And I ultimately think that if they made a game such as what you're describing, the open sandbox style game where it's not open quite at first, you have to level up on the home world a little bit and do this and that, and then you can start traveling around and you can slowly expand and get your own ship and build a crew of friends and all those different things. They could continue to create expansion packs for ships and speeders and cars and added alien species and all different kinds of stuff. They could add updates to it to slowly expand the mechanics and make things just more vibrant, more colorful, add more layers. It would be a very large game, and it would be intense, massive undertaking. I mean, I don't know how long these games take to develop. Maybe what, a year or two. I don't. How long do these games even take to develop? Do you even know?
I don't know. I'd have to. It depends on the game, and I'd have to look into this specific game.
Where is your skill?
You know when it started developing.
Let's say a year. Let's say this game took 1 full year to manufacture from all the motion capture stuff. You wouldn't have to do as much motion capture with these other games, but you would have to do some.
Yeah, just some basic motion capture.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to go down the path of motion capture for a number of things, but if you did full character creation where you could create the face and the eyes and the nose and the ear, and you could do that whole thing like we've seen done on many other games before. I mean, there was wrestling games back in the early 2000s on the N64 that you could go nuts with character creation.
Right.
I mean, even when my cousin had a WWE game like in 2007, I think it was, for Xbox, and there was so much customization to the faces and the different looks. If you do that, like, give us gloves, give us pants, shoes and boots and shirts and jackets and robes and ponchos and 1,000 different things, and let us pick the texture of the fabric and let us pick the color of the fabric, and let us do all those things. You don't have to have endless amounts at first, but you create those layers, and it's just gonna make the gameplay more and more and more and more and more fun.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
It'd be a huge game, though.
Yeah, it would, but it would be worth it. And I can't be the only one that feels this way. Now, granted, I don't know, if I don't know how many people are out there. Maybe freaking do a poll. I don't know, but.
Dude, I mean, just stop and look at how many Star Wars fans we have that are gamers on whatever platform. I mean, the platform you're talking about, it would probably have to live on PC, most likely.
Yeah, it would be difficult to do something of that scale and sort of customization on
console.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, with that said, you would. I know you're limiting some of your. I guess you're limiting your potential profits if you make it limited to one thing. But Dungeons and Dragons has done it for years upon years, and it's not destroyed their brand, or people haven't had their. Well, I'm just not buying this anymore.
Right.
This whole PC thing's I'm just done with.
Yeah.
No,
it's not going that direction at all.
I mean, we have gaming systems now that are trying to become more PC.
Yeah.
I mean, the rumor of PlayStation 5 is the whole solid state drive and completely a disc free and all kinds of stuff.
Which makes sense. So. Yeah,
we're
that's
just
true. Consoles are getting.
We're getting. Go ahead.
Consoles are getting closer and closer to the way a PC is, just with a continually more with a more simplified direct interface.
Right, you don't have to build it, you don't have to customize it, you don't have to do any of this, you don't have to do that. But guess what? It's still becoming a computer.
Right. Well, if you think about it, we're already sort of in that way with smartphones. A smartphone is a computer just with a simplified interface.
True.
It's geared more towards specific functions, but you can, you play games on it, you browse, the internet on it, all that kind of stuff. So.
Is your character still amassing skill points?
Yeah. It's hilarious. Like, I'm still getting experience, I've got 3 skill points that I could spend.
Have you got all the stuff?
Yeah, I have every single force ability.
How would they give you skill points if you still have if you've got all force abilities?
I have no idea. See, look at the skill tree. Every single bubble is filled in. So I guess they just don't. And oh, you know, we're talking about DLC. Maybe they don't need to make a new game. Maybe they just start releasing DLC for this one.
In all honesty, I think they'll make a sequel game because these console games across, well, these games like this across multiple platforms usually create sequels. Now they'll sometimes they'll do DLC stuff, and don't get me wrong, they might, but most of these end up are like, oh, Fallen Order 2.
Right.
And since a lot of this stuff's been motion captured, done, and a lot of the layers of this game has already been built, I mean, they might even go as far as to be like, oh, he rolled right up on me. They might even go, oh, well, we can make the game sequel quicker.
Right. Yeah, since a lot of the mechanics are already here, and like a lot of the motion capture work is done. So.
Well, I still think ultimately that they're gonna win for 2 years.
Yeah, they're once the Rise. It's such a frustrating sort of time for me because it's like I have to wait until Rise of Skywalker comes out and then see what happens after that.
Did you get your tickets?
Got something to help me?
Because I
got mine.
Nice. Yeah, I've thought about it, but I know I'm gonna end up going to see it with my friends here, so I don't want to.
Oh yeah, I see how it is.
don't guilt trip me. That's not fair. You know I'd see it with you if I could.
With everybody. With everybody. No, ultimately, I think it's pretty flippin' awesome how we're so close to, and I know this is terrible. Okay, you mentioned this when you were streaming on your episode 10 of the walkthrough of this game, and I couldn't have agreed more. I wanted to comment then, start writing stuff, but I was like, he'll say it, you did. But I in one way, I'm so excited to see episode 9, and I can't wait. I can't wait. But in another aspect, I'm also so looking forward to the next, the next phase. What has Disney and Lucasfilms and all these people in charge? What have they envisioned as the next chapter? Most of these production companies they're planning 5 years ahead and they're working 2 years ahead. So that's just the way movies work. And right now, we all know that Kevin Feige, however you want to say his name, or however you're supposed to, and all the people in Marvel have already decided, okay, we're going to have a Blade movie come out in 2024, but we're not even going to start shooting until 2022 and this date and that date because of the guy's schedule that will be Blade. Marshala Ali, or however you say his name. I better get names right. Anyway,
Need an assist.
they know what they're going to do. They may just not have it just exactly fleshed out yet. And I love this creature that you're fighting, by the way.
The Nidak? Yeah, I know. It's a great creature.
I absolutely love it. I want to keep a part of its body as a trophy. But I'm pretty sure they have it planned, what they're going to do next. But I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see what is next. I want to see the final episode 9. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited, but I'm then knowing that episode 9 we get to have a completion and a wonderful phase, but then episode 10 means episode 9 means that we get an episode, maybe 1 or something of another series of something else. And like we've talked about, as much as I would love a Knights of the Old Republic kind of film, I would more rather see that as a Disney Plus series.
Yeah. Yep.
I would more rather dive into something on that Disney Plus. The Mandalorian just looks and feels like a Star Wars movie. Where to me, that's where Solo failed, in my humble opinion. It never felt like a Star Wars, and maybe that was just me or the way I watched it. I don't know how you felt about that, but The Mandalorian feels like it's in the Star Wars universe.
I
It
agree.
feels like we're there, we're watching. And as much as I want to do the Old Republic stuff and see all these cool characters, I would dramatically want to see what's next. What's next after this episode 9? What is next? Where do we go from here? We've talked about what could they do with Galaxy's Edge,
Right.
what they could do with games and rides, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just can't wait. Well,
Yeah. I wholeheartedly. Yeah, I know. I kept messing up.
you're
But
all good.
I wholeheartedly agree. I want to see what's gonna happen. Um, just yeah, in the universe moving forward. I mean, and I hope again they structured it in a way where it doesn't rely on a specific group of characters, where we can see these interesting branches off, following these new and different protagonists and their journeys, and having a world that accommodates what we've been talking about as far as the creation of your own character, and being able to explore, feeling like even if you never had the opportunity to create your own character, just feeling like the option would be there and not limit you, at least not too much,
Yeah, I totally see it, and I feel it. I'm just, I think watching all these Star Wars films and watching all this stuff. You finally made it down here, yay!
Yeah, finally.
I feel like watching all these films and watching all these series and doing all these things is so great and wonderful. And then to know that there's a saga such as big as the Skywalker saga is, quote, ending, whatever that means. I guess I'm just so excited about also what could be next that I'm also saddened in a way. I so mixed emotion about expressing all this right now. But I'm also saddened in a way that it is ending.
Yeah.
It is ending, and we don't know because they're not going to tell us even if they do. We don't know if any of these characters are going to be in any other film.
Yeah.
We don't know if they're going to kill them all, or for all we know, the next film when they decide to say, okay, yeah, we're doing same universe, same timelines, but we're doing a time jump 20 years or 30 years or 40 years, or for all we know, at the end of this film, it'll be someone telling a story of, and that was 200 years ago,
Yeah, yeah.
We don't, and that's, to me, it'd be totally fine, because what's the opening caption of the Star Wars movie?
Long time ago.
A long time ago.
And it's vague, purposefully vague, too, which is great.
So
Super
we
smart.
don't know where they're gonna go with it, but ultimately, oh, there's a yellow. Oh, got a path to go to.
I'm 95% explored.
You're finding it.
Whoa.
You're at 99% explored right now. You're almost there, I think. You must have just not walked down or ripped that. Did you see that wall had blue on it?
Yeah, I've done that before, actually.
Okay.
I have to push it. Oops. Push it slower.
You push it.
Okay.
Push it. Push it real good. But we'll see. I mean, we'll ultimately see what happens. I think if the powers that be in the minds of creating, they all want to make. In the end, I hate to say this, But in the end, everything they've done is about making money.
Oh yeah.
It's not just about getting to see these cool, wonderful things, which it is about that. I mean, you have Dave, what is it, Filoni or Felony
Yeah,
or
Dave Filoni.
Filoni? That
Felony.
dude is, that dude is a, that dude is a huge, huge nerd,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and he loves this old stuff. He's a Star Wars guy if there ever was.
Mhm. Yep.
And he really cares for the property and the properties that he works on. And even John Favreau and all the different guys and everybody that's connected to it, they care. They genuinely care. And I think it reads very well. We can sit here as consumers of their digital product and go, this is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And, yeah. And I don't know.
Dark, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to make sure that I get every little nook and cranny. And I know some people have questioned. There are a lot of fans. I'm so frustrated with how divided the Star Wars fandom is right now.
I know. It's frustrating. People that hate 8 or love 8 or are indifferent about 8. Even as far as some individuals that we've talked about recently that just reject it as in not even being a part of the universe. It never happened.
Right, yeah. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, I feel sorry for, I feel bad that it's, I mean, and I get it also, like, it is a form of the characters, a writing for the characters that feels different from what you would expect, what you would expect from the original trilogy, and, it's a bummer to me that they have basically ended their enjoyment of the Star Wars experience. It's ultimately by their choice because, they are choosing not to accept what's been given, what's been written, what's been put forth.
Right.
And again, you never, along with that, you're never going to be able to please everybody either. But
No.
But whatever the case, the reason I'm saying all this is I have faith in the people whose hands the Star Wars universe is in now. I mean,
Yeah.
Kevin Feige's been given creative control now. I don't know exactly how much, but to an extent. Again, like you just talked about, John Favreau doing such an amazing job with The Mandalorian. Dave Filoni, people that, love the lore that is in place. And, I feel like they're doing a wonderful job expanding that lore as well. And
Yeah, they're taking the properties very seriously, very respectfully, and they're really fleshing it out. And you can tell. I mean, episode 4 of The Mandalorian was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard. I mean,
yeah.
which such a random individual, and you're like, oh wait, no, her daddy's Ron Howard was all up in Friends of Lucas's,
Yeah.
did
And
Solo and yada yada yada. So it makes sense, but then you're like, I wonder if she's gonna be in a future property, or maybe if she's had a cameo we didn't know of, or
yeah, and I think I said something to my cousin, and I now that I'm thinking about it, I got it wrong. I thought she was gonna be directing the Obi-Wan series, but that's somebody else that's gonna be handling that.
why would you say
I know.
such lies?
I know it's. Oh shoot! Another bounty hunter fight. Whoa! I know it's gonna be a female director for the Obi-Wan series.
No time to be flashbang. Very effective tactic. Very
You got down.
effective tactic to flashbang.
You don't concern me.
Easy.
Ah! Finally helped me for once.
Ah, this will be easy.
You cut down that tree.
Feeling hurt?
Grand Moff. Huh. Interesting. I like how they have that in
Weird.
quotes.
It'd be funny while you were fighting it was 100% explored.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, oh, done.
Did a good job there. I guess you just missed one little walkway somewhere.
I know. I see. It's still 95%. It's driving me crazy. I'm trying to figure out what in the world I haven't done out
It's
here.
gotta be one little tiny little walkway somewhere that maybe you haven't walked down a hallway that you've seen. You just didn't walk through it, or because that's what the other one was. You saw it, but you never walked down it.
Right, right. That's why I'm just trying to, and it's got to be in here somewhere because I feel like it's this area in here that I haven't completely. Oh, there's an echo over there. Look at that. Okay, so now I got to figure out how to get over there.
And you have to come down on top of it or climb up a wall.
Well, I see a vine. See, I see a little vine there, but I don't know. Maybe I can do a double jump.
You can jump it. Yeah, I bet you could grab it.
Now I just gotta get back up there. That means I'm gonna go here. Oh, hang on. Gotta fight a Night Sister zombie.
You do that, buddy. You Night Sister zombie. You kill them with the stupid metal jabbed in their backs like fairy wing.
Hey, that's very ritualistic and sacred part of their culture. Don't judge.
Well, I'll judge them all day long, buddy. They're dead. Their culture's no more because they shoved metal things into their sisters' backs when they died.
It's their own dang fault.
Count Dooku was like, oh, huh.
You sick people don't need to exist anymore.
What the freak is wrong with you? Stab metal into the backs after they're dead? Why? Well, do you not care for the bodies of your fallen sisters? Well, yeah, we sure do. By stabbing them with metal in their back.
You wouldn't understand.
Yeah, you wouldn't understand, Dooku. And he's like, you know what I do understand? Destroying all of it. I like how Dooku's way cooler in the Clone Wars series.
Yeah, definitely.
No disrespect to the actor. I mean, seriously, but...
Yeah, Christopher Lee is definitely a fantastic actor. But, there we go.
Okay. If we would have noticed this before.
The Night Sisters used this in some type of ritual. Their magic gave them power.
It's a knife thing, sword thing. Alright, and that is Dathomir. So now I
Nice.
gotta haul my butt all the way back up to the Mantis. Had to be the lowest, farthest section of the map to get to.
Some of those, I have to admit, there are some echoes that I've seen while you were playing that I've been like, how did he miss that? He's such a blind bat. And then other times, I didn't even notice it at all. Had to go back looking for it. And then we realized it was right by where it'd already been. We all should have noticed it.
Right? Yeah, the funny thing is, or something I've been thinking about doing actually is going back and Like I told Blaine earlier, I was like, I kind of want to just like start this game immediately right over. Now that like I have a better feel and understanding of the mechanics and like, you know.
And this time, play the dark side. Oh wait.
Yeah, no, can't do that. That's why you don't have a red lightsaber as a customization option.
Have you looked back at the lightsabers after you built it in Ilum?
I think so, yeah.
Did you know you unlocked all the colors?
Yeah. Oh wait, no, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't think you checked it.
Oh.
You unlock all of the colors. You can actually change your lightsaber blade to any. The only color you don't get full access unless you pre-ordered was orange.
Gotcha.
Every other color, once you pick it in Ilum, if you were to put it right back down and click the Kyber crystal color, you can pick any of them.
Nice.
And I was gonna see if when you had a chance you could throw a specific color in your lightsaber so I could see it.
Yeah, I'll try
Kill these guys. Kill them. Kill these Darth Maul wannabes. Kill these Savage oppressed.
Sheesh. They're handing me my tail right now.
Use a force power. Lord.
I did.
No, I mean like remember the one that can jump straight up and down and smash where you jump up and you smash your hand?
Yeah, that's right.
The little shockwave one? When they surround you, push that little command. Shablowy. Like how, yeah, they bro. Look how you owned them after you did it.
Right?
See?
Sometimes that's a great thing about the combat in this game is that it can just take one thing to turn the fight around.
Can you force push that? Those electric bullets?
I don't know, actually. You're talking about the like really strong one?
Yeah. The pink one. The big
Not feeling
pink.
so great, BD.
I don't know.
I needed that.
I'll have to try it the next time. I don't think I can, though.
think.
Okay, so now to go
Climb your little heart out, Padawan.
some of these. I love the platforming puzzle aspects of this game. They were so smart in the use of force powers, you know, combined with, you know, you got to figure out your path, you know, and then use the right force power on the right thing at the right time, you know, and when you do it, it makes you feel accomplished, you know, and it makes you feel like a Jedi.
Agreed. I loved the puzzles. I loved watching you work the ball puzzle on first Zepho Temple.
Yeah.
Or the second Zepho Temple, technically.
Yeah. How'd I do with that?
Well, I mean, you did okay. There's not like you did bad. I think ultimately we approach things differently, but yours isn't wrong.
Right.
It's just we approach things differently. Right. So if I would have approached it, we would have both figured it out like we did, but we would have came about it by a different way. And the guy that I watched on the walkthrough when he first did it, it took him forever. He kept having to. He edited his video down though.
Oh jeez.
Because he would edit out all the deaths and everything. It's like if he had to respawn, he'd edit it out. Like his walkthroughs were looked flawless. It looked like he just played the game perfectly all the way through, and he would have episodes that were like 40 minutes and had no mess ups, no nothing in it. And he actually made a comment that it took him over 45 minutes.
Jeez.
So you did pretty good, but I found it enjoyable. The only thing is some of the mechanics and way they built to find some of the chests and different things, like the one that I had to help you with in that same temple, where you had to kind of figure it out. like going up, like moving the ball and then stepping on the thing, and then it raising you up behind. That was tricky.
Yeah, yeah.
Life.
Here we go.
We'll destroy you.
Okay. Can you slow it?
I didn't even think about trying to slow it.
You are going to get shot.
I keep killing them all. Oh shoot! I could have done it right there.
It ain't no big deal.
I'll have more opportunities here in a second. I'll ping it. Here we go.
I
wasn't being.
I doubt you can.
I need something, buddy. I didn't get the slow fully.
Brother, end this! Come, fight me!
Brothers, help me!
Prepare to die, Jedi. Try me, Jedi.
Oh, that was cool. So it kind of does
Try
work.
harder.
Oh, it does.
Think you can match
It
me?
slows him and the bug. Still pretty cool. Have you tried force pull and then force push where you can throw them once you have them?
Yeah, I've done that on a couple of enemies. It's a lot of fun.
Defeat me.
That's pretty cool. I watched a guy do that with a stormtrooper. He pulled him to him and then threw him off a cliff. You are weak. I like that.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite favorite little combinations. Is the force pull and force push, or I guess technically force hold. Really, that's actually in Star Wars: The Knights of the Old Republic MMO. I was like a little disappointed when I thought that wasn't going to be something you could do as the Jedi Knight class, and then I found out, like, you know, it's an ability from, you know, like, you know, after you level up for a while. So one of my favorite little sequences to do in that game is force pull, or not really pull, but like it's kind of like a force freeze kind of a thing. You like hold them in the air with the force and hold them, you know, keep them held there. So I'll do that, and it does like almost like a gripping sort of damage over time. So I'll do that, and then once it's like at the end of it, then I'll do force push and throw them a long ways away, and then I'll do a saber throw and hit them with the saber while they're on the ground. And then do force leap to close the distance and, you know, get back into doing melee. But it's a fun little combination.
Pretty nice.
I wonder if I can do something similar in this. I'll have to see if I like fresh bunch of force or fresh force pool to draw from. Let's see if I can do that combination.
Cool.
Pool. A pool.
I love our differences in tastes of things. Like when you'll find a new poncho and you'll put it on, it's like, oh, that's cool. You'll go, yeah, I don't care. You'll like click off.
Yeah. Like,
Oh, okay. And then some of them, like, we totally agree on, like some of these like bright yellow ones and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's terrible. And you'll go, oh, I don't like that at all.
You just got pushed into a wall.
If you use a stem, you'll reload all your force powers.
yeah, that's true. I guess I can be a little less sparing on the stims now that I have like 10 of them to use.
Little help, BD.
And that you beat the whole game.
Oh yeah!
That chick looks like she's just lost.
Yeah, I know, right? Technically, she is.
She's like, where did everybody go?
Here I come up behind her, and just lop her in half.
She's like, I'm so happy to be alive again.
Let's not linger in this place.
If you run to the when you're done, if you run to the bench here in a minute,
Oh yeah,
it'd
yeah.
be great. Take your time.
That's where I'm headed right now, actually.
Love that little terrarium thing.
I know, it's such a neat little addition. It's like very unnecessary, but very cool. Oh yeah, so the colors. Yeah. So cyan. Oh my god, it makes me so happy that that's. Oh, and magenta too.
Yeah.
And indigo. All right.
I know, right?
I gotta do it. I'll do it for you, buddy. I gotta.
Thank you. I just want to see it.
That's very nice. Okay, so here, we'll do this.
There it is.
We'll do this.
There it is.
So you pick. We'll go.
Okay.
We'll build.
Okay,
we'll build
okay,
your
okay.
saber here. So. All right.
Okay. There's some lag here, so you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to go slow. There's
That's
like a
cool.
3 or 4 second like to go to the all the way to the left. We'll start all the way to the left,
So, okay, all the way to the left. So.
and I'll say next, and you can click. You can click next.
Okay. So it's just starting with the emitter. So you get obviously the default Jaro DePaul.
Yeah, that's actually not bad. But next.
Okay. So then you have now this is the premium pre-order. The next two emitters would only come with the well, they might sell the premium content as a DLC after the fact, but
Yeah, I'm not sure.
okay. So,
Next.
all right. The Umbaran campaign.
Still waiting for it to load on the thing. Can you rotate that slightly
I
at
can.
all?
Yeah.
Just
So,
a little bit.
up, down.
Just a little rotate, just so I can see a little bit of it. There you go. That's enough. Okay, that's not bad.
Okay.
Let's skip yours and go to the next one after that.
All right. Valor and
Is
wisdom.
it-
Whoops.
You're good.
So this one is actually this is a piece that you can actually get at Galaxy's Edge.
Ooh, I like that one. That one's pretty good.
Now the way
Okay.
it's oriented is the slant would be toward you because that's the switch right there.
Right.
Right.
It's kind of shields you a little bit, almost like a form of a guard.
Right. Which I always like funny enough, I like the feel of that the slant away from me. So, but
I do too.
yeah, okay.
Oddly.
All right.
Okay, next.
Next, power control. Don't think that's gonna be one you're gonna go for.
No. Next.
All right. Passion and strength. Just a very very basic. Kind of neat.
Yeah, it's okay. It's like you said when you were messing with it, you could make it the back end of your lightsaber, and it would look like just one long lightsaber.
Mhm.
Okay, next,
Elemental nature.
which in watching Galaxy's Edge videos, I tend to lean toward, and I do like that one.
And that one actually has the slant oriented away from.
Exactly. What is the next one?
Next is the other elemental nature emitter.
Which I don't prefer. What is the next one?
Next is the Eno Cordova, which is more like Luke and
Ah.
Obi-Wan's.
And after that is the real
It's the
real weird one,
Magus.
isn't
Yeah.
yeah.
The
And then the final one.
final one is Seer Jindas, actually, which is kind of cool. I actually kind of like Seer Jindas.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not bad at all, actually. It's really straightforward. It's not bad. Let's try the Let's try that. Let's just try that, right?
All right, just go with Seer Gendus. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now the switch is a lot more.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
So we'll start far left. So default gyro to Paul.
Let's see. That's interesting. Okay, next.
Next, the Maikido campaign.
Oh, I'm having to wait for the lag
Yeah,
between.
No,
Yeah, that I don't like that. It looks weird.
okay. Then the Umbaran campaign.
And it just changed. Okay, no, thank you.
Next is mine, so we can skip that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then there's the Peace and Justice 2, which is the opposite.
Which isn't bad. It actually has a nice clean flow from one end to the other.
It does, yeah.
Next.
Okay. Then Valor and Wisdom. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. That's not terrible. That's not terrible. Okay, so Valor and Wisdom is kind of cool right now. Okay, next.
Valor and Wisdom 2.
I like Valor and Wisdom 1 better, so okay, we'll go next.
Okay, next is the First Power and Control.
Oh, that's...
And especially with the little the switch section there is kind of interesting. That bit there is actually the switch. That's kind of
that's kind of wild looking. Okay, go next, please.
Right, then Power and Control 2. So you get the same switch and just more of like a ridged grip kind of thing.
Which still blends well with the tip of everything.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, next.
And then Passion and Strength.
Passion and Strength.
Interesting.
Ooh, that kind of Luke-ish kind of look there. I really like that texture on the top part. That's really neat. Passion and Strength. Okay, next, please.
All right, then Passion and Strength 2.
I'm waiting for it to load.
I kind of like the grip on it, like this indented. That was actually sort of something on my original Saber design when I sketched it way back in the day. I kind of liked the that sort of recessed grip sort of style.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Next, please.
Next is First Elemental Nature, which is metal and brylark wood, actually, is what it is.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty cool. Nick?
Okay. Then the next elemental nature is actually, this section here is actually Cartesian whalebone.
Cartesian whalebone. See, if I were to pick something from Galaxy's Edge, it would probably have Cartesian whalebone in it. The only thing about these games is they don't have the pommel, and that Rancor tooth was just killer.
Yeah. A lot of people love that Rancor tooth.
Keep going.
Okay, so Duty and Resolve. Duty and Resolve 2 with the leather
let's
wrap.
see. Waiting for 2 to load.
Bantha leather wrap on it.
Ooh, that's not bad. That's interesting.
Yeah. Gives it very much an old lightsaber like feel.
Yeah, I think there's one in the sleeve in the middle that might have a wrap on it that I might end up going for.
It does.
So let's go next.
Then Eno Cordova, which is a really interesting design. I didn't even notice it. It's actually, those are Zepho glyphs.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
He worked Zepho
little
glyphs
reference there.
Yeah, like a very personal connection to it.
Okay, and then the last 2 are related to the other last.
Magus, that's a very interesting sort of design.
Yeah, that's kind of.
That seems like it would feel kind of awkward to handle, actually.
Yeah.
And then that's Seer Gendus right there. So that's actually what was
what's supposed to go with it.
Right. Which is really interesting.
I think I'm really liking I think I'm really liking. I think it's passion and strength
That one?
and elemental. I think it was the. Let me see if it loads. Yeah, I think it was that one or the elemental nature with the two. I think it was elemental nature two.
What, the Cartesian whalebone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see one last time. That's pretty cool. Let's go with passion and strength.
Okay. Passion and strength. All right. Now,
All right.
sleeve.
That's pretty wild looking. Okay.
So there's default Jaro T'Pol.
Oh yeah, it's like a cable almost.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, next.
then-
You can skip the next one actually. You can skip the next two.
Okay.
They're really specific with their
Yeah.
styles.
So they actually kind of work well as the sleeves, but yeah. And then there's mine, so we'll skip mine. And then there's Peace and Justice 2.
That's very cool. Okay.
Valor and Wisdom. That has a very interesting sort of feel in the center.
Like
of the
almost like circuitry and welding points or something.
Mhm.
Rivets. Okay.
set. And then Valor and Wisdom, which is kind of neat. Feels kind of plain, but kind of.
That's interesting. Valor and Wisdom 2 actually looks like you said, looks kind of just
Yeah. First Power and Control. That's kind of neat actually. Very simple.
yeah,
but-
little Darth Maul-y in a way almost.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Then Power and Control 2, which to me feels a little bit like Valor and Wisdom 2. I mean, it's not bad, but it's, it just feels kind of, it's just very simplistic.
Right.
And Passion and Strength, which is kind of neat as well. But my personal taste, it feels a little strange having such a narrow, very sort of skinny section. In the
I
middle.
know. Okay.
Okay, and then Passion and Strength 2, which would just be a repetition of what you had.
Yeah. So onward.
Right, and then Elemental Nature. That's kind of neat actually, with that Cartesian whalebone being more of a sort of a solid piece through the center.
Oh yeah, that is pretty cool. Kinds of brings more of a natural feel to it. Okay.
All right, then Elemental Nature 2 with the Brylark wood,
Which is a little more detailed and
kind of blends into the section of Seer Jinda's lightsaber really well.
yeah. Okay, next.
Next would be, this is the one you were thinking about, which that works really well too, actually. Duty
Let's
and
see.
Resolve with the bantha leather
Yeah,
wrap.
see, I like that look. That look. I might end up doing it. Let's just see the others just to check them out.
There's Duty and Resolve 2, which is, I think that's still technically Brylark wood, I think, just in a different sort of pattern. I'm not certain. I'd have to look it up, but.
It looks like some kind of wood or some kind of composite material like that.
And there's Eno Cordova's, which that looks kind of cool too.
It works really well the way it comes away from the switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the little swoop, I guess you could say, scoop.
Yeah, I do like that. That is pretty cool.
And
Okay.
then Magus. It's very visceral.
Which,
feeling.
yeah, very, very aggressive stuff.
The thing that
And
bothers me
so-
about Magus, and I'm sure some people like it just personally, I don't like that the grooves go offset, like, down and then, like.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's very asymmetrical.
I'd rather have it be almost like a katana wrap handle.
And then Seer Junda, very similar actually to the Duty and Resolve.
Hers is a more of a different. It's not a smooth wrap. It's not wrapped consecutively. It's just wrapped all the way around.
Right.
I do. Show me Cordova's one more time, and then show me that other one
There's
that
Eno.
has the wrap handle.
Cordova.
That's pretty cool, man.
and then duty and resolve.
I think I'm gonna go duty and resolve. That
Okay.
just to me is just cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think that feels nicer than Eno Cordova's with what you've got going here. All right, and then last but not least, the back end emitter, the pommel emitter, so to speak. So we'll skip the first three, or do you want to see? Do you want to see?
Let's just make it the same and see what that looks like.
Okay, so make it Sear Agendas.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that's what it looks like with Sear Agendas on both ends.
Okay.
And this section here doesn't change. It's literally just just the emitter.
Now make it that one that looks like it's just a handle. I mean, just the end of almost like a pommel.
That is passion and strength.
Ooh, go back one. I think it might have been an elemental nature.
Elemental nature?
Yeah, go back one. That's kind of weird from this angle. Okay, go back to the other one, the passion and strength one. I like how it's just kind of smooth and looks something you could carry in your pocket.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let's try that. We'll just try that and see what it looks like.
Okay, so all selections made. Wait, what's the toggle? Oh, you can turn the UI off and get a smoother look at it. That's pretty cool. Like that.
Can you? What does that do? Oh, with that, you could take like a screenshot, I bet you.
Right, yeah. That's kind of the idea. All right.
And there's a lot of that. Alloys, a lot of alloys.
Yeah, did you want to look at that at all, or do you want to keep it as
the
alloy? Okay, so we'll get into alloys here. So
check them out.
Do you want to see like the? Are there any colors you don't want to see, like as far as you know?
You can just go over them, and I can see just what it looks like. I think it's cool how it kind of smooths all the different metal textures out. Okay.
Baron.
Okay.
Arodium.
It's pretty wild. Okay.
Matte.
Yes, I'm joking.
I think that's cool how it's some of the textures look, you know, kind of they keep some of the rings sort of the original.
That
colors.
brown and black back, that's pretty cool. Okay.
Electrum plated.
Okay, real gold, real gold.
Yeah, kind of a 3PO gold. Copper.
Okay.
Durasteel, which I found out is what Jango Fett's armor is actually made of.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Polished bronzium.
Kind of dark. That's nice. Okay.
Dolomite. Red. That's pretty impressive.
Real red. It looks like it's been powder coated.
Dunium.
Okay.
Chromium. Very shiny chrome.
Very shiny. Very classic Star Wars look.
Duralium. It's interesting.
Oh, I kind of like that little bluish little. You know what that looks like? It looks like someone blued the steel. That's pretty interesting.
Almost.
It's like a blue. It's a chemical dye where they blew the metal. Okay.
Osmiridium.
That is weird.
Right.
Okay.
Durite.
Let's see. It's similar to matte, but I guess it's got like a semi-glossish too, like a little light reflecting.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know. Cerakote, I think is how you'd say that.
Yeah. Like a gunmetal kind of thing. Okay.
Orichalc, which is kind of cool. Very different. It's like a very subtle difference when you actually see the color of the reflection. But.
Cool. Okay.
Sylvian iron, or Slivian iron. Sorry, Slivian.
Slivian. Okay. It's like a rose goldy kind of.
Duraplast, which is like
Is that what the stormtrooper?
Yeah, it's something. Yeah. I think it is. Yeah, it's like stormtrooper armor, basically adapted into the hilt, which is kind of interesting. Kind of an interesting idea.
Okay.
Hazian smelt, which is what Rose's medallion is made of.
No, thank you. You can Hazian smelt your way to my
Corundum? Corundum?
No. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Crodium? Very, very dark.
Oh, that's like blood. Ooh, that's wild. Okay.
Architron? Another very chrome sort of.
I thought they killed him in Transformers 2.
Let's see. Then Lamina Steel.
Lamina? Like, almost like trying not to say lime.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Alright, then Bronzium.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Bronzium's a very interesting look. And then Neuranium, which is another sort of very dark look.
I think Bronzium's pretty cool. It adds enough texture to it. Try that. Let's see what that looks like.
Bronzium. So that.
Yeah.
That's your final selection?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright. Let's see how it looks.
Alright.
Alright, let's take it out. Let's find
Oh, man.
I'm gonna rest.
That's pretty cool.
Take it out and see how it looks in combat here.
With your 4 skill points and nothing to spend it on.
Right. I think they even have different sounds to each of the colors.
They're supposed to.
I'll have to check that out. I know that's a Galaxy's Edge thing, I just wasn't sure if they were going to do it in this game. Ah, shoot.
Too cool.
Stim BD? Good job.
Oh.
Like that? You want to see any changes to it? Do you want to try a different texture?
No, that's pretty cool. I just like seeing that color.
Yeah, I know, but that's your color.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty flipping cool. See, that's the reason why I, whatever Galaxy's Edge lightsaber I built wouldn't actually be, like, my end-all be-all, because if they gave me all these options, I'd end up picking something else.
I know, right?
Because I think that looks pretty cool the way it is.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet for sure.
Can you do the toggle? I'll take a screenshot.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Toggle UI.
Give me 1 second and I'll take my screenshot.
Sure.
There we go. I got it.
Nice.
Pretty neat. There you go. You can put it all back and destroy it. That's so cool, man.
I did want to see what some of these other colors look like.
Some of them are really vibrant. The yellow's like really bright.
I know there are some people. Let's see what the orange looks like, just out of curiosity.
It actually is a good. It has a look. It's got a good look to me. It's a true orange.
See, I think what I want to do with the orange is I want to do the Mikeito campaign combination here. I'm trying to think what I would do for the pommel. Maybe I'd just do Agenda's material. There you go, do it the Mikeito campaign. And then the orange. That's really interesting looking, actually.
Yeah. Very like Knights of the Old Republic-y.
Same thing with the Umbaran campaign. The Umbaran, I don't know what color I would do for the Umbaran. Maybe green? Let's change the material to the proper material.
You just do yellow.
That's true. Then I can just kind of cycle through the colors. That's interesting. Kind of want to take it out, see what it looks like.
Yeah, the yellow's pretty bright even on the screen. Very vibrant color.
That's pretty neat, actually.
Yeah. I'm not always a fan of yellow, but that's cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Something else I like is the fact that it doesn't, like, all of these different hilt styles and everything, and it doesn't feel like there would be a hilt, except for maybe the Magus, but it doesn't feel like there would be a hilt combination that would feel wrong with Cal, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Right, I think that's just good designing.
Trying to think, what would go good with magenta?
Oh, I don't know. Do something like dark sidey,
So that'd be like power and control.
or do elemental nature. Do elemental nature.
Elemental
Let's
nature?
see some cool. Let's see some cool elemental nature version.
Alright, let's see.
That's kind of cool. Do the Briarlark wood on the top part, and then you can do the Cartesian Lava on the bottom.
Yeah.
It is Briarlark wood in Duty and Resolve. It's the same color.
Okay. Alright, and then the bottom emitter. Another elemental nature. That's wild.
Pretty crazy.
There are people that would kill for that color availability.
You know they're gonna expand, dude. You know they're gonna add more blade colors.
They'd be foolish
They're
not to.
they're going to end up doing new kyber crystals and new blades, and they'll end up doing. I bet you. Are the lights in the blades?
Yeah, they're LEDs. See, the thing is, what I watched is they only have the 6 colors of LEDs in the blade. So even though the
Well,
crystals,
they'll make a 2.0. They'll make a 2.0 blade,
right,
and they'll make some 2.0 kyber crystals, because you know they're going to come out with more themes of hill.
right. You know what's interesting to me is that they don't have white, which makes sense because they don't have red either. And the only way to get those is
And they don't have black.
yeah, true. Well, yeah, the only black saber is the
Dark saber.
dark saber. Yeah. To my knowledge, they've never said that there should be anything other than dark saber. As far as
It's still flipping awesome.
Yeah, it is. But you know, of course, the only way to get red is if you use the dark side to bleed your kyber crystal, and then the only way to get white is to purify a crystal that has been bled. So,
I'll bleed your crystal.
please don't.
I'm so surprised that you stick with the stock alloy metal look and don't go for something a little brighter or a little more old school Luke.
Yeah, I just like it. Just like the look and feel of it. Like, and granted, you know, my color blindness also kind of affects the way I perceive things, but it's just the one I like the most. It feels what I like the most. Whoa. I didn't hit the switch thing. That was weird.
Ooh. In this red planet, with the way the color hues work, your blade looks very white.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder. Oh, it's because I held it down. Oh, if you hold down left click, it does the switch attack.
That's cool.
Didn't know that was how you did it.
It probably described it to you on some of the movements and you didn't read it.
Probably. Let me see here. Where is it? The switch attack. Oh, yeah. See, it says it right there. Hold left click. I guess I got focused on the text. It says Cal performs a special attack while switching his lightsaber type. So I thought that when you hit like if you're in combat, if you hit the switch, you know, the style of the blade switch, that it would, you know, just do the attack and then switch it.
So what was the other planet you didn't get fully explored? Ilum?
Ilum, yeah, so I need to go back there. I'm gonna head that direction now.
Goodbye, Death.
Thank goodness. Interesting planet, really like the storyline there, but...
You know, my piloting hasn't been this good since I graduated first in my class at the Lateron Space Academy.
I wasn't aware Lateron had an academy.
Yeah, it was new, back in the day. You probably don't get around that area much.
So what did you train on?
Name it. Fighters, freighters,
I
short
love
range,
their
long range,
banter.
whatever.
Me too.
I
During
flew
space
circles around everybody.
You flew freighters in circles.
Yeah, it's all they really allowed me to do. I was so good, though. You should have seen me.
I love that banter because it's another way that they
All right, we're here.
expand,
Get in your chair.
evolve, and get you to know the characters. Oh,
What is it?
look at the planet.
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm still waiting for it. Sorry, there's a little lag here.
It's okay.
Oh my god. Is Ilum turning into a Starkiller base?
Yes, which that totally confirms. I think it is. Well, I don't know. I've read something that debunks that theory, because apparently the specs that they had on the size of Ilum don't match the size of Starkiller Base, but it just looks so similar. And with the,
But where do they get the specs for Ilum?
I forget. It's been so long since I looked at it.
It's probably something outside of canon.
It might be. But the what you call it?
It would make sense that it was Ilum for two reasons. One, Starkiller Base is a snow planet. Two, it's got the kyber crystals already in it.
Right.
But I thought Starkiller Base was outside in the explored zone.
It's in. That's the thing. It's in the unknown regions. The funny thing is, though, that the what do you call it? On the RPG that we're playing. Excuse me. The Fantasy Flight.
Bless thee.
Thank you. The Fantasy Flight games, tabletop RPG. The maps that you get, like the one that's on the game table in Tabletop Simulator that we have.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now on my phone.
The original map, the older map, has Ilum in the spot where Starkiller Base's origin point is. I've done a comparison, a side-by-side comparison, and it's literally on the same exact spot in that
Is
map.
Ilum not in the new map here?
It's not.
What?
If you look at the map, are you looking at the map that we use in the RP?
Yeah, I'm looking at star charts. Sorry.
If you look at the map that we use, the origin point of Starkiller Base is where Ilum used to be on the older map.
Okay, let's see. Oh, dude.
Now again, those
Dude,
maps,
Ilum and Starkiller Base.
now those maps aren't canon.
I
Technically.
know, but dude, all the planets surrounding it are right. What a weird way to find that out.
I know. And I
But
wondered
what-
that, comparing those maps, I stumbled on that when I was looking at the maps.
Mini my blow. Mini mind
And now
blow.
this game kind of looks like it confirms that theory.
Dude, I think it does because it's all cut out in the middle.
I'm hit.
Yep, same exact kind of trench and everything.
Here comes a grenade. I won't break focus.
I feel so bad. You can't really like throw Ilum into anything anymore because
Get up here.
it's a sun map.
I'll be the one to end this.
Is there a kyber? There is a force echo down the hall.
There's a what?
I think a force echo down the hall behind you.
Okay.
Unless it's a save point. No, it's a save. You're good. Oh, you chopped his robotic arm off.
But this is the section that's only 80% explored, so it's gotta be something down here, though. But yeah, that's another reason. Aside from wanting to do the homebrewed crystal, that's another reason that I had us go to Belcade instead of Ilum. Regardless if it had become Starkiller Base, Ilum was heavily occupied by the Empire and stripped heavily of the kyber crystals anyway, because it was one of the main places the Jedi got their kyber crystals.
Where in this map is unexplored?
Where I'm at, actually, this section.
Oh, this main area.
And actually, it's somewhere. It's actually here. Like, I can't even really go that much further.
It must be a side room
It's gotta be, because that's...
or part of the ocean area down there that you didn't even see. Because once you hit Crystal Caves, it changes.
Yeah.
So it's got to be somewhere in the water.
I just want to see what happens when I get this fully explored. I want to see if I get some kind of an achievement or...
Probably not.
I'm just curious. Oh,
It'll be-
look! Oh, no, wait. Never mind.
You are obsessive compulsive.
Me? Yes. When it
No,
comes
I'm saying.
Oh.
No, I'm saying that
The
that's
achievement.
the achievement.
I was like, I am, sort of, in some ways. Wait a minute, this is a different thing.
Is it?
Yeah, there's 2 branches. Look at this, I found it.
Hey, no way. You sure?
Yep.
Hey, here we go.
Whoa. And it's Force Echo. This is tripping me out with these statues with no face or anything. Like, that's an interesting choice.
Each path is different, young one. Be mindful of your anger.
Ugh.
A pack dropped by a frustrated youngling. Some succeed, but some fail. This one gave into her anger. Wow.
Ooh, gave into the dark side.
Alright, Ilum is explored.
Wow.
Just down. There we go. Alright.
Still can't believe that's how we got it confirmed that Starkiller Base is Ilum.
I know. Yep. I mean, granted, I don't think they've they've come right out and said it. At least I haven't come across the article that says that.
But for it to look like Starkiller Base when we got there, and then for you to be like, hey, look. And I was like, oh, that looks like Starkiller Base. And then for you to tell me about the maps, and yes, the maps aren't canon, but still, come on now.
No, I agree. I think that is what it's supposed to be.
Wow. Heather's making fun of me over it. She's like, you guys are like, oh my god, Starkiller Base. Oh.
Some people just don't get the joy of our nerddom. It's alright. They're missing out. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's alright. Wow, it's crazy, man. Crazy.
But again, to me, I mean, it's sad to think about that, but that's one of the reasons I wrote the element of Belcade, new Kyber crystal formations growing, is the Force manifesting itself and finding its own way. You know, the Force will not be contained, it will not be, it can never be destroyed, it will always
Right.
in whatever way it sees fit.
Still blows my mind. I think it's pretty cool that is what it is, and I think the little customization from changing the man, it's like if you walk back out of the man, look at it, change some of the skins on it, and just kind of check it out and see what it looks like from the outside. Just because the Ilum's so bright and you could see colors good.
There's the originals. There's the Gold Squadron. Bright yellow. Sheesh.
Whew. Don't you love yellow that much?
The Vanguard is interesting.
Yeah, I don't mind that so much. That's not bad. Even the little orange line down the side kind of matches the orange.
Starfighter. That's kind of bleh. It's like whatever.
it looks kind of Nubian in a way.
Yeah. Same thing with the Charisma. Just looks like a different version of Starfighter, kind of.
I think, yeah, they just we'll add a little gold and have a whole nother skin.
Yeah. And actually, Racer is the same exact paint job. It's just red instead of gold.
Which I'm not a fan of either.
Right. Then there's Smuggler. That's very.
Is that like the Millennium Falcon
Yeah.
look?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, which I dig that actually.
Yeah, I like that.
That's pretty sweet.
I like that bunches. The little blue panels here and there, maybe little brick color panels here and there.
Let's see, and then Oculation.
I think that was my favorite one, the Smuggler.
I do like it, yeah.
Oculation.
That's
That's freaking tripped out.
And Greasy Money, you've seen that one, that's the one I've been running. Aphelion? Ooh. Kind of like circuitry-ish.
Yeah. Kind of Crimson Dawn-y.
Yeah.
See Maul show up in that.
Right. Alright.
Not bad for the look. I mean, if you're going for that look, it's pretty clean.
Zodiac Drifter's the same thing. Oh, looks like the same exact thing, just slightly different.
Kind of a rip-off to just do a Hunter Green version.
Right. And there's okay, so now then there's the Perihelion. It's like a reversal. That's kind of
Looks almost like a stormtroopery.
yeah. Okay, and then Republic. It's kind of cool. Oh, I like the change in the color sort of shift in the fin / wing.
Yeah, even like if you look at the ship component part in the back, it's all metal.
Yeah.
If you look at the engine part, it changed it to all metal in the back.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I like that one in Smuggler. That one in Smuggler looked realistic. The little red accent is pretty cool on the little side fin.
I think I actually kind of like that one. I might
I do
stick with
too.
Republic, actually.
I really like that. It's got cool textures, tone. It's like it's got layers to it. I like it.
Mercenaries, different.
Yeah, and then of course, Mercenaries, just another form of bounty hunter, and everybody's Boba Fett's nuts. So.
Well, Mercenary I think is supposed to be like Django, and then of course bounty hunter, Boba. So.
Which to me, that it doesn't pull off Boba on that.
Yeah.
It's just colors.
Right.
But yeah, Republic's pretty cool paint job.
Yeah, I think. Oops. I think I'm gonna go with Republic. I think I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah, it looks good, man. Smuggler looks good. Don't get me wrong, but I like the metal aspects of Republic in the back. I love that. It just like it's like they're going to make it tougher because it's the engine, you know.
Yeah. And then I can play around with 81 skins. There's the original, which is it's like a red kind of skin.
White and red looks clean.
And there's B,
Definitely look
D,
clean.
yellow and black.
Black and yellow, black and yellow. Which I'm, of course, again, not a big fan of yellow, so, you know, I'm not crazy about it.
Vanguard's kind of neat. Interesting. I'm trying to also look at him on my shoulder in the outhouse,
Yeah.
different lighting and stuff.
Yeah, that's not bad. There's one of them that looks like we'll get there, but it looks like a droid.
Don't like Swoop. That's just a weird color combination. Blue leaders.
Yeah, I don't care for it's very just kiddish to me.
Balm grass, which is like a sort of almost a lime greenish.
It's dark, but instead of red, it's lime green.
Let's see, Day of the Dianoga, which I loved that name.
Right.
Not a big fan of the color scheme.
No, not a fan of the color at all.
Tabana is actually, it's kind of neat looking. That's the gas that they were mining on Bespin.
Yeah, it's not bad. If you wanted something a little different.
Sundari Dawn. That's interesting.
Yeah, Sendaridan it's kind of out there.
I do like the bit of yellow around his eye, or I guess, is that yellow or orange?
It's yellow.
Zagag wave. It's very different as well.
Not a fan at all.
Not really. Let's see, then Yavin Prime, that's cool. It's, obviously,
Yavin.
Obviously the color of the gas giant Yavin, which is what Yavin 4 was moon of.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, then Myrmidon. Not really a fan of that either.
Now, Myrmidon, I think that's the one that kind of looks like a pieced together droid. This one looks like one of his legs is a different color.
Oh, it is, yeah.
So to me, that one looks really like you built BD yourself.
Yeah, I could see
Which
that.
isn't terrible, but it would require like a unique, taste.
Bestine's kind of cool. It's like it's like a very like clean white kind of.
Little blue.
Yeah, I like that. All right, and Sumi.
I'd rather not sue you.
That's super bright. It's like neon.
Yeah, it's neon green and then this weird pastel-y lavender.
It's kind of an interesting combination.
It's out there.
Cantonica. That's a very Crimson
Pretty
Dawn.
cool though.
Yeah, but yeah, very interesting.
I actually just like that look a lot. Did you see the red wire coming out of BD's face a little bit better? And I just think that's pretty just interesting. Okay.
Grungio, which is that's kind of neat too. That's another sort of pieced together droid.
Yeah, that's it right there. That's it. That's the one that looks real handmade. It looks real like you did it. It's weathered.
Yeah, sort of
It looks tough too.
And Stygian Prime. Stygian Prime is kind of neat as well. I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's clean. It's the silver visor, black body, real clean.
But I still, I just lean toward the classic colors, the red and like just the original color scheme between the red and the blue.
Yeah.
And of course I love blue, so blue leader just makes total sense for me.
I'm surprised they didn't call the other one of them gold leader and change it.
Right. And then I guess the other thing I could look at that I haven't really is just like go through the like each outfit with each poncho kind of a thing. So of course there's the original combo, Rocket Scrapper, default appearance.
I think honestly some of my favorite, because I've gotten a chance to see the ponchos quite a bit now. I think one of my favorite ponchos is your favorite, which is the Free Kashyyyk, because of the shield bird on the back.
Right.
It's pretty neat. I do like the one you got from Dathomir, which I don't think you cared for. It's a dark poncho with like some red designs on it.
which one is it?
Very tribalistic, and I love the indoor looking poncho.
Yeah, Commando is my second favorite, I think. Trying to see which one.
All the way toward the bottom with the
Oh
orange.
yeah, Homestead.
Let me see when it clicks on the screen, because there's some lag here. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's an interesting design for sure.
To me, it's out there. It's kind of wild. It's really tribal. It's like native-y, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's very asymmetrical stuff. Nothing's. It's like a freehand style dyeing pattern, you know.
Right.
I like it, and I don't like offshore at all. That bright yellow piece of garbage. Just like layers of mustard.
Layers of mustard.
Honestly, you look like you are on the prison planet from a Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah. It's kind of a cool combination there. Bogano Dawn and the Broxer. Of course, we've seen Freakishi because I wear that so much. What should I do with Shio? It'll be Guardian or Pathfinder, I think. Or even Alpha.
When it comes to the freakish sheet, I think that and Commando are some of the best. Pretty awesome, man. Well, I've had fun. I thought it was pretty cool.
Me too, buddy.
Thanks for streaming this and running back through and showing me Ilum's actually Star Killer base. Lord.
Mind blow for the day.
A little bit. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy to find out it for me as well. Like I was like, oh, yay. So yeah, and like I said, I definitely appreciate you coming along on this journey with me.
Oh yeah, man. It's definitely fun. I think ultimately these games just get funner when you can kind of experience them with others. And sorry, you can hear my dog whining in the background on your recording.
You're fine.
But I think these games just get funner when you're with people.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. All right. Well, I will let you go, my friend.
Right, man.
You have beat the entire game.
Every little bit of
Yeah,
it.
you can just run around and run after into different planets and do different stuff at your own leisure.
Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna. I might have to just restart the game and start from the beginning, like I said, with the knowledge of. Oh God, I'm not gonna use that one. Now that I'm familiar with the game, and just kind of see what it feels like, going back to the beginning and see if I notice stuff, So, all right, bro.
So, all right. I will talk to you later.
All right.
All right. Bye, buddy.